Hello everyone and welcome to the Smashi Business Show. Today is Wednesday, 29th of October, and I will say it's day 2 of FII9. We have a very long first story where we'll be discussing what happened on day 1. It was such a big event. But first of all, I'm Abdul Majid Awan.
And I'm Parth Joshi, and we've got some very exciting stories for you to discuss today.
And the first biggest, longest discussion that we'll do is about FII9 in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Such a big event. Only the opening plenary session, which is like the public session where everyone speaks and everyone listens, had nearly trillions of dollars of asset managers just sitting there and discussing stuff. But then we'll go on to discuss PIF and Aramco as they partnered in HUMAIN. HUMAIN, as we know, was launched when Mr. Trump was in Saudi Arabia, UAE and Qatar recently in May in this year. And HUMAIN was launched, AI company backed by Saudi giant PIF, the sovereign wealth fund, $1 trillion. I'm just saying keywords because I know the sentences will be long, but we'll talk about it, that how Aramco is now joining PIF to become a part of HUMAIN. We'll talk about Tabby. They're now valued at $4.5 billion. Why, how, we'll tell you. And lastly, some sports and business, but Qatar-owned PSG posts small loss despite Champions League triumph. We'll talk about how salaries are a problem.
Affecting the economy of the football club.
And the very first story, obviously, in every newsletter that I read yesterday, Bloomberg, Financial Times, every headline was about FII and the 9th edition of the Future Investment Initiative, which is done by the Future Investment Institute, as I was telling Parth. It becomes complicated after some time. And the conference that is happening right now, the full form is FII conference actually, because they have a lot of other events which happen in Europe. They are called impact events. They happen in Africa. So FII conference, the 9th edition, opened in Riyadh on October 28, 2025, yesterday, signaling Saudi Arabia's growing confidence on the global investment stage. The opening day featured a $3 billion data center partnership between Blackstone and Saudi AI firm HUMAIN as regional and international leaders unveiled major economic, energy and technology plans.
So the Public Investment Fund Governor, Yasir Al-Rumayyan, set the tone for the forum, declaring that traditional investment models are no longer fit for purpose. He said that the PIF will soon announce a new long-term strategy stretching from 2030 to 2040, focused on job creation, industrial development, and deeper private sector collaboration.
And Saudi investment minister was also there, Khalid Al-Fali. He emphasized that the kingdom's giga projects, which everyone was talking about before the event, that this time no mention of NEOM in the projects, it's just the mention of AI. But he did mention the giga projects, which one of them is obviously NEOM. And he said they have become the catalytic nucleus of development. He says they are not standalone things which will make Saudi Arabia great. They are the center of everything good, everything big that's happening in Saudi Arabia. However, he hinted that it may be time to scale back government and PIF spending, and he's saying it rightly so because oil prices are crazily going down, so it makes sense. But he also added that new sectors like AI are prompting a strategic reallocation of resources. It's not that they're not going to spend a lot of money and just save it. They're going to move that money from giga projects to AI. And he says the reallocation of resources towards innovation and technology is very important right now.
So the shift that was embodied by HUMAIN, the kingdom's new AI company, its CEO Tariq Amin took the stage to unveil HUMAIN One, an AI-powered operating system designed to integrate intelligent agents directly into workplace computers. Amin described it as a re-architecture of the entire computing interface, compatible in ambition to Microsoft Windows.
And just to tell you more about it before I move on, HUMAIN One, what he wants is basically he says that, for example, I have an Apple MacBook in front of me, someone has a Windows. You always have to click on an icon, right, to go to something. If I want Sheets, I'll click on Sheets. If I want Word, I'll click on Word. It's like, I want to build an operating system which they have and which is right now working in HR, finance, legal and 3 or more categories. He says that we've built that, but we want it to be completely open like any operating software. So he wants to replace Apple's operating system. Mac OS, Mac iOS, whatever, and the Windows. He basically wants to replace it, and he just wants to say that you'll have a computer in front of you, that's his idea, and you'll just talk to it. It's like, where's the keyboard? Where's the mouse? Where's the touchpad? And his idea is that you don't need any of that.
You just speak to it.
Yeah. it will basically, the apps that we see, that we click on, he says that they will become agents now. So the operating system will not have any interface. The UX, which he was talking about, user experience, which is called, he says the UX would be a plain voice-based system, or maybe a text-based system.
They're making it more interaction-based than like touch
and you'll be like,
system-based.
oh, I want to create a list of my grocery, blah, blah, blah. And one of the agents in the operating system would be a planning guy. And he'll open, I don't know what, I don't know, they haven't told the details or shown it a lot, but I think Rich saw it at first hand being used there. But what I saw in the video a little bit was like, it will create a sheet for you. So you don't need to open Microsoft Excel or Sheets.
You just need
to tell it.
Speak to the agent, and then the work will be done on the back end.
So it's basically like, play me a video of this, blah, 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 and it'll find the best place where it can play a video for you. So it's going to be very interesting. He wants to basically break the whole market with something new. Let's see what he does. But more about HUMAIN. One is that he wants to include AI native applications that could rival tools like Zoom, Microsoft Word, underscoring Saudi Arabia's ambition to transform from technology consumer, basically using it, to technology producer, providing it. I mean, said, quote unquote, we believe you need only one IT product for your enterprise. And this is the future of the UX that I was talking about.
So Amin also shared an ambitious infrastructure vision, saying that HUMAIN's data centers already serve 150 countries, which is 5% of traffic originating from Saudi Arabia. He added that 70% of his job feels like being a real estate developer focused on securing land, power, connectivity for data-driven growth.
Yeah, that's right, because Saudi Arabia is building huge data centers. And one of the people on the comments, when I shared the clip of him in the morning, was, how are they going to do it? Using water? They have oil, sister, and they have a lot of sun, so they can use solar energy.
If you can criticize them for oil, then you can also compliment them for it.
So they have a lot of space where they can build it and use solar energy. They can do a lot. They have a lot of space. That's the good thing. But the forum, basically the FII9 conference, has entered day 2, and on day 1, it also hosted leading global financiers, including Jane Fraser of Citigroup, Larry Fink of BlackRock, the biggest asset manager in the world, I think $13.4 trillion last we checked AUM, Steve Schwarzman of Blackstone, I think second largest asset manager in the world, and they deal in alternate assets also. Alternate assets is like, you don't invest in stocks and real estate, the main ones, you invest in something different completely. Fraser highlighted Citi's new regional headquarters in Riyadh, calling it proof of deepening US-Saudi business ties. I love how these guys, Citigroup is a private group, it's not a government-led group, but she doesn't talk about Citi opening a regional headquarters in Saudi to be a private thing. She's saying, oh, it's a US-Saudi business
relationship.
So nice. The very interesting thing, the most important thing for me yesterday, I was telling Parth, very interesting, Lubna Al Olayan of Olayan Group was there. It was such a nice setting, Parth.
Yeah.
There's so many men sitting on one seat.
About 7 men on that panel.
And there's only one woman sitting on the seat.
And she is from Saudi.
And she's Saudi. So the whole table, the main plenary, the opening session, you know, it's always the biggest one. It's like the keynote speech in any event or anything. And you see a woman sitting there from Saudi Arabia,
region,
representing Saudi Arabia. All the other guys were from other regions. Only one of the guys was Lebanese. He's he's Lebanese born, but he's the head of HSBC now. I forgot the name. I'll remember it. Give me 1 second. But yes, Lubna Al Olayan. And the way she spoke, she was asked so many weird questions. Like, she's like the richest woman of Saudi Arabia. Ask her about so many things. But the first thing was, what should we invest in Saudi Arabia? And she's like, real estate, this. And the second question, like the third question that follows up is it easy for women to do business in Saudi Arabia? And as soon as the guy asked the question,
she gave a very strong answer, saying that I've been doing it for 40 years.
Yeah, imagine this woman. To be honest, I also found her recently, like a year ago. I also didn't know about Lubna Al Olayan, that she is the richest woman in Saudi Arabia. We always talk about Prince Al Walid bin Talal and the Saudi Crown Prince and so many other people. But we always forget that there's so many women who are doing everything side by side. And the good thing is, to be honest, this was a very nice strategic move.
Yeah.
They wanted a woman to represent them on that table to show the world that there is no discrimination.
There's no discrimination or restrictions.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Lubna Al said very nicely, she answered that, yeah, there is no discrimination. You guys are just starting to see it now.
Yeah.
Because you guys are now starting to travel
To
here,
visit Saudi.
Yeah, to talk to people. Now you're actually getting the feel of the environment. Otherwise, you were just sitting in your countries, looking at media.
From your desk, just seeing headlines and articles.
Yeah. So it's the Western news bias that finally is being broken. We shared that clip. You can watch it on our Instagram or any other social channel. We're on X, we're on LinkedIn, we're on TikTok, we're on YouTube, we're everywhere. We try to be everywhere. But she also talked about Saudi, that it is booming. She also cited opportunities in data centers, renewables, and healthcare.
So, beyond Saudi Arabia, regional momentum was strong. Qatar's finance minister announced plans to issue Eurobond Sukuk and confirmed that much of Qatar's $500 billion US investment pledge will focus on AI and tech. Yet Blackstone's Schwarzman sounded a note of caution, warning that as energy-hungry data centers multiply, global power supplies could come under pressure. Saudi Arabia, he said, may be uniquely positioned to help solve that challenge.
It's so interesting. The whole conversation of day one, to be honest, if you ask me what's one word, it was AI, to be honest.
Yeah, just AI.
So a lot of headlines were right that it was more about AI, this AI, that AI. And it's a very, I think, very important question. I think you saw that clip on my stories. When you were at Jitex, I was at Expand Northstar. I found this guy, Service Systems CEO, big guy, $7 billion company, recently raised $1 billion. And I asked him, like, is AI a bubble? He was like, no, it's not.
Yeah, that's...
And yesterday, in that same plenary where Lubna Al was there, Larry Fink was there, Bill Ackman of Pershing Capital was there, HSBC, the Lebanese guy, sorry, I'm forgetting his name, he was there, Blackstone CEO was there, Schwarzman. All these big, rich people were sitting there. And when the question was asked, like, what's up? Because you have seen AI come into your life and you were studying as well, right?
Yes.
ChatGPT,
No, actually, no.
2 years. No, not using it, but it was there.
It was there, yeah.
It was introduced.
It's like in very, very initial phase of it.
Yeah. But do you have any friends or cousins who are in university or studying and they feel that a lot of things have changed because of it?
Like, I've seen people be completely frustrated because ChatGPT does not give them the correct prompt. They are frustrated because ChatGPT replies with positivity instead of giving the answer directly. Obviously, it does need some working here and there, but everyone is using it. There is demand for it. It can be used in multiple sectors. People might hate it, but it's not just being used for question and answer or for Wikipedia. Like recently, Elon Musk introduced the concept of a Grokipedia. Saying that we are going to have like our own Wikipedia, and people were angry on that because they're like
is a lifesaver,
people were saying that Grokipedia is doing a copypedia of the Wikipedia. And
makes sense.
Like it or not, this is the future. Everything will be automated. It's growing into different sectors. It's coming into business. It's coming into tech. It's going
even education.
Education. It's going into films. Everything. Like, it's using it is one thing, but it's obviously up to humans to teach other humans as to how to use it and at what capacity you can use it. I feel personally that it can also over reliance on it might not help your cognitive skills. You can use it as a helping hand, like a stronger arm if ever needed. But like, do I think it's a bubble? No.
Would you, if you were a millionaire right now, would you invest in AI?
Yes.
Right?
I would. Yeah.
I think everyone would.
I think
give this
it's also like to do with economics, like where there is a lot of demand. In time, be it short or long term, there will come some sort of growth from it, and like you get a good return on investment. Why not?
Yeah. So AI was the main focus, but let's go to the next story, which is a follow-up of FII9, but I kept it as a different story because it's a very big thing. The Public Investment Fund, PIF, and Aramco, the state oil company of Saudi Arabia, they've announced plans for Aramco, the oil giant, to acquire a significant minority stake in HUMAIN, the Saudi AI company launched by PIF in May 2025, this year only. Under the proposed agreement, PIF will retain majority ownership while the two entities combine assets, AI assets, talent and capabilities to accelerate HUMAIN's growth and establish Saudi Arabia as a global AI hub.
The collaboration will consolidate HUMAIN's AI offerings, including next-generation data centers, hyper-performance infrastructure, cloud platforms, and advanced AI models such as Alam, one of the world's most powerful multimodal Arabic large language models. Saudi Arabia Company for Artificial Intelligence (SCAI), previously fully owned by PIF, has also been integrated into HUMAIN to further enhance its capabilities.
And PIF Deputy Governor Yazid Al Humaid said the partnership will fuel AI talent, innovation, and intellectual property while unlocking new investment opportunities. Aramco CEO Amin Nasser added that the investment will strengthen industrial AI applications, support national digital transformation, and allow the company to harness AI-linked energy efficiencies and industrial solutions.
So the term sheet is non-binding and subject to regulatory approvals and final agreements. But once completed, HUMAIN is expected to scale rapidly, leveraging combined AI assets to offer transformative solutions and globally cement Saudi Arabia's position as a leading market for advanced AI technologies and talent, coming back to the point where they want to be the AI producer and not the AI consumer.
Yeah. And it's very interesting because Aramco, biggest oil producer in the world, state-backed company, PIF, sovereign wealth fund, state-backed, Aramco will need to provide energy to all the data centers. Eventually, they'll be the first ones to provide energy to all the data centers that eventually will be rented out to all the companies who want to use that compute. But it's so interesting that they came up with this idea. Because PIF, as I have realized, PIF does partnerships, but we've seen them doing partnerships with external characters or software makers which help run these things. And they've signed they have a $10 billion fund also.
Yeah.
So if you're an AI startup, you can just go and HUMAIN Ventures will fund you. So they're doing literally everything. And I think Aramco investing a little bit of money helps them grow more quickly.
Yeah.
And in our country also, in UAE also, there's MGX. It's also doing big things. But since it's Davos in the desert, we have to discuss all this. Yeah, it's Davos in the desert. It was a very funny thing that Richard RTS, who is the founder, and His Royal Highness Crown Prince's picked person to do providing them with a strategic entry into Saudi Arabia's fastest growing consumer credit and fintech sector.
So the latest deal involved existing investors selling part of their holdings to new backers with no new shares issued and no fresh funds raised for Tabby. Specific details regarding the size of the transaction or the selling shareholders were not disclosed. However, market watchers note that the deal signals strong confidence in Tabby's business model and growth potential.
And investors praised Tabby's rapid scalability and product innovation. Rock Wang, managing director of Hongshan, one of the funds, said the company's execution reflects a deep understanding of the market, while Joey Chen of Boyu Capital highlighted Tabby as a leading fintech innovator in the region. The transaction positions both PE firms, private equity firms, to benefit from the kingdom's burgeoning digital finance ecosystem.
So Tabby reportedly engaged HSBC, JP Morgan, and Morgan Stanley earlier this year to advise on a potential IPO targeting a 25-26 window. While the exact timing of the size of the offering remains uncertain, the company's strength in valuation and high-profile investor interest underscore its growing prominence in the Middle East fintech landscape.
And moving on, it's a very simple story. Tabby is now worth $4.5 billion. It was worth $3.3 billion in Feb. It's growing rapidly. It's one of the biggest BNPL, buy now, pay later platforms in the Middle East. And funnily, they started in Dubai, but they shifted to Riyadh. And I think it was because they want to list eventually do an IPO on Tadawul, the Saudi market.
Yes.
So being there and then doing it would make sense. And then we have the second biggest one, Tamara. That's also Saudi.
Yeah.
And it was started by Saudi. So I think in terms of BNPL, everyone is moving there. And if they have an IPO plan, they would definitely want to go on Tadawul. It's the biggest market, stock market by market capitalization. Makes sense. But quickly moving on to one of the stories that I wanted to do with Parth, because we for some time did the Smashi Sports show as well. And putting my other verticals in there also, Smashi Sports. But Paris Saint-Germain reported a minor financial loss last season. They're owned by Qatar, so that is why the story makes sense. Even after clinching the UEFA Champions League for the first time, the club generated 837 million euros in revenue, ranking among Europe's top earners. A PSG spokesperson told AGBI and Bloomberg, I picked the story from there, said the team is close to breaking even, though the exact figures were not disclosed, highlighting how even elite clubs face financial balancing challenges amid rising player costs.
So the shortfall reflects broader pressures across European football. PSG saw reduced domestic broadcast revenue after the zone exited its League One deal, and the club's 47,000 seat stadium limits match day income compared with its larger rivals. Its wage bill, while reduced to below 65% of revenue, remains at a significant cost, underscoring the financial challenges of competing at the highest level.
Despite these hurdles, PSG remains one of the continent's richest clubs, trailing only Real Madrid and Manchester City in the revenue. So they're in the top three, they're the third. The club's strong commercial appeal and on-field success help maintain its position among football's elite, even as it navigates the pressure of high operational and player expenses.
Looking ahead, PSG aims to boost profitability by focusing on developing younger talent rather than relying solely on superstar signings. Plans for a larger stadium are under discussion to increase future revenue, backed by Qatar Sports investment and partly owned by Arctos partners. PSG is working to secure short-term financial stability to match its recent on-field achievements.
Yeah, and it's a story close to his heart because his favorite player also played for them, I think Messi. But we were just talking about it before the show, and just a short discussion that players' salaries in the past have inflated, and I always think it was Neymar, and it was Neymar's move.
It was a deal for 3 years before. Now they have renewed it to I think 2-3 more years, and the name on the stadium still remains Spotify Camp Nou.
Yeah.
But the stadium renovation is not being done.
Yeah.
So it was done by a company called Limark.
Oh.
The directors of the board had said that this company cannot give us enough money, and the construction group had said that we will give you 1 million every day for the stadium being built, and that money is not received yet. So this economics in football is very interesting. Also, to give a bit of context on this particular story, reportedly PSG's wage bill for the 25-26 season is 150 million euros.
Yeah.
So
even if they made like 800 something euros.
And to add the Champions League win to it,
Yeah.
even the Club World Cup money that was given, had they won that competition in the final against Chelsea, they would have gotten about 100 million. They were just short of that.
So they could have broke even. Because they are nearly breaking even.
Yes.
That means they could have broken even. The City Football Group, just on the note, which owns Manchester City, it's also in loss. It's not, to be honest, with City Football Group, there's another thing. They reinvest all that money. And they don't only own Man City, they own so many clubs.
They have clubs like Girona and Mumbai City FC and also New York City FC.
So it's basically City is the money-making machine, and then take the money and they reinvest it somewhere. So it looks like they're always in loss, but it's very nice strategic reinvestment. But my producer is doing some kind of dance telling me to finish the show because we've gone over time, but thank you so much. We'll be joined by Parth tomorrow as well. We'll also try to find another business sports story for discussion, but thank you so much for joining us today. Yeah.
So that's a wrap for today. Thank you for tuning in to the Smashi Business Show. Make sure to follow us across all social media channels at Smashi Business and stay ahead with our daily newsletter. You'll find the subscription link in the description.
This has been a Smashi Business Show, Smashi Business production, part of the Augustus Media Podcast Network. A big shout out to our more than 2 million monthly listeners across all platforms. You make this possible. Just to give you a hint, I'll try to give my producers the links to the Smashi Crypto Show. We're trying to do it with AI, with my voice, with a script. It goes live every Friday. Full week of whatever happened in the crypto world. We have a newsletter for Smashi Crypto which has started. I'll put that link in the description as well. So if you're listening, just subscribe to it to get to know what's happening in the world of crypto. Thank you so much.